Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be dismantling this XTR M952 rear derailleur. I'm looking to sell it and I want to service this before I get rid of it. I've already done a video on this derailleur before, but it was very poor quality, so I want to make a cleaner, more brighter video of servicing this derailleur. So let's begin. First thing, we're going to remove the jockey wheels and take off the bolts with a number 3 Allen key wrench. So as far as I can tell, this derailleur, the difference between the M950 is simply that this derailleur was designed for 9-speed, whereas the 950 was for 8-speed. I think otherwise it looks the same. So the difference between the M950 previously and this derailleur that came out, I think it was an M953. I can't remember if it was a inverse derailleur. So you'll notice that the color is just slightly different. This one's got more of a blue tone, whereas this is a grey tone. I don't know if there was a grey tone for the M950. I don't remember seeing that. I think the very obvious big difference is the hollow hanger bolt, whereas this one's not hollow. Okay, so another key difference here that you can see, something I quite like actually, the B tension screw stopper plate. You'll see here that this is being reinforced. It's much thicker. I see quite a few derailleurs with this little tip part here being completely bent, and so when the derailleur is completely in relaxed position, this actually is not holding on properly anymore against this part on the stopper. There's one more thing I think that's interesting to just point out. Classically, I've seen Shimano was putting this little weird alien face design on the back of the cage plate, and here you can see it's gone. In fact, it's been worked on. Let's remove all the little miscellaneous parts. So you've got this barrel adjuster. You can take this off if you really want. I'm not going to bother. So removing the limit screws. Let's remove the bolt here to access the bottom knuckle. This will be a number 5. You can now push that through normally. Oh, this one's really stuck though. So here there's a spacer. I had to get advice to push this off. It seems to be quite high tolerance here on this part. And now you can push this through. And between there's a very, very thin spacer, washer. You can remove this little stopper if you want as well. In fact, we will, because we're going to need that for putting it back later. And on the bottom knuckle there's a seal and a spring. Let's remove this B tension screw. Okay, so we're going to access the top knuckle now. There's a circlip here that we need to take off. So you're going to need something fairly sharp to be able to remove it. Be careful of your fingers now when we're going to take that off. Push down on the B stopper plate, B tension stopper plate. I'm going to let go now. Oof, hate that when that goes into your fingers. I'm going to lift this up, and it's probably going to, and there'll be the seal, the spring, and that's the stopper plate that went flying against something. Let's push that bolt through. There's a seal that you can remove if you want to clean that, or even replace it if you've got a replacement. And another thin seal here. So I'm going to now give everything a good clean, and then we're going to put it back together again. Okay, so I've cleaned everything up. I'm really happy I've redone the video on this actually, because I missed out these key parts on the initial video. There was actually two very thin washers behind this bolt, not just one but two. I've also cleaned the back of the bottom knuckle a lot better than I did before. So I'm very happy that I did redo a video. And we're going to grease this up. I'm going to be using Motorex grease, although initially I'd been using some sort of lithium grease, and that worked quite well as well, because I actually did use this derailleur for a bit of time, and it's clearly stayed. So let's begin on that. You pretty much just want to add grease on the coil springs and the pivots. That is mainly where we're going to be putting everything. Don't forget to clean the interior of the pulleys, especially this one here that's more sealed. You can actually remove the top cap of the sealed bearings and really clean and add on grease if you really want onto the bearings. And also the covers, the metal plates here. There was hair behind here that classically happens on these. So grab the bottom knuckle bolt. We're going to first add on this very, very thin washer, very easily missable in fact, and put that first. Now again, after that there's another washer that's equally as thin but a little bit larger. You put that first. I even bent mine a little bit, taking it off the first time. Now we're going to put that through the back, and on top of here is a kind of bushing slash spacer. Now there's a groove on this one on one side that I believe is going downwards where the groove is. Now it's not going to go all the way to the bottom. I think when we're going to tighten it, it's going to force down onto itself. Hopefully that's what's going to happen anyway. Now we're going to put this coil spring. We're going to put the tip that's slightly shorter onto this side. Now there's two holes. One's going to be more or less tensioned. I believe the left is more tensioned. I'm going to put it onto the right. Grab the seal for this one, so it looks like this, and install it. And now we can take this. Now the tip of that spring is going to go in the hole that's at the back here, so aim for that. Once that's in, push that down, and we're going to start tightening this bolt down. And be careful not to cross thread. We're going to see if that worked like I said. It did, like I thought. Yeah, okay. We now need to install the tiny little bolt that stops the stops this going back into place. So we need to turn it like I just did now, repose it on something to keep it held open, and then we're going to take that tiny little stopper bolt and we're going to screw it in. Now be careful not to cross thread that as well, and you want that just nice and tight, and you can let go. Let's work on the top knuckle now. We have this seal that we're going to reinstall, and we can grab the main hanger bolt and push that through. And on the other side we have the spring, so remember the longer tip is going to go into the hole at the back of the knuckle, so aim for that. Take that little plastic seal, get that ready to put down here, and the other tip of that spring is going to go through that hole. So we can begin to do that now. Now we're going to tension up this stopper plate, and we're going to use a number 2.5 Allen key. Stick that through here. Rest that against your hand. Remember to get a plier ready. So I'm pushing that down. Hold that with your finger. Grab the circlip, goes here, and you're going to want that to go into the wedge, that spacing that's on the bolt, like so. Let's put the limit screws back into place. Very careful not to cross thread those, I've done that before. Let's put the pulleys back in. Now remember to put the guide pulley, G pulley, on the top. If you want, you can put a threader on this, lock threader. That'll keep those in place. Not too tight straight away, gives us allows us to move this about for the other one. B-tension screw. Right, I'm happy I worked on this again. Much better video, I'd say, generally. So I hope this helped you service your XTR M952 rear derailleur. And until next time, peace out.